Hello, everyone. Nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, where we've got a few things to cover in today's video. So first of all, just to let you, well, you probably know already, but I decided not to do my standard CVC stream today. I had a COVID vaccine booster a couple of days ago, and I'm still feeling kind of run down from that. So yeah, I basically, it's like me streaming when I'm lethargic is just not a good stream, so why bother? So I decided not to do that. Unfortunately, we'll be back for the next CVC, which is most likely going to be personal rewards. So there'll be all sorts of stuff going on. That'll be in 2 weeks from now. So we'll do that. Looks like this one's actually going to be a fair battle, which will be fun. But yeah, so that is something. Now, into the exciting stuff we do have. Saint Valentine 23. This is a new promo code, which I haven't claimed yet. So let's pop it in, because of course today is Valentine's Day. And ta-da, we get some stuff. Not a ton of stuff, but a little bit. So a bit of energy, some silver, an XP boost, and 10 multi-battles. It's pretty small. It's a small promo code. It's almost nothing. But hey, it's a little bit more than nothing, and it's for free. So go grab it today. I imagine it only lasts for today. Of course, what Plarium is really into is in the shop, where there's a bunch of offers. We've got like the Valentine's pack. There's a Valentine's Day deal. There's a Valentine's play pack. There's so much stuff in the shop. 1 second, let me actually grab you a value calculator. Okay, so if you want to work out how good these packs are, I highly recommend over at raidshadowpro.gg/offer-calc. Their raid offer calculator. This is a really good way to come in and to figure out how good these packs are. So I would say this one looks like it's pretty good deal here, typically for void shards, but we'll find out exactly. So it's going to be 4 void shards. The offer price is $9.99. Oh, maybe it's actually average and there's 400 energy. So there you go. It's 1.2. It's good, but actually not amazing. So yeah, not amazing. It's okay. And you can do the same thing with this Valentine's pack, for example. I recommend, I actually don't have the prices for this. I'm sure someone will publish that soon enough. You can find it possibly on the Raid Reddit, or if somebody knows, can post it in the comments. I'd be guessing that these two are 5. This one is probably 10, and this one is probably 15. Something like that. So it's probably about, 30, what's that? If it's 10 and 15, 25, 30, it's probably $35 or $40 for all of this. So I that's the way to look at this, right? Don't be looking at it going, ooh, €5 for that's okay, or €5 or $5 for this is great. Don't look at it like that. Be looking at it as, okay, add everything up together and say, am I willing to spend $40 or $50 for all of this together? The reason they split it up is to make it feel better, and smaller purchases, and ooh, I gotta buy, it's worth buying because I get the deal. Just add it all up. It's not worth buying to get the deal. It's just one big pack. That's the way to look at it. So for that as well, I imagine this is probably the best value one, but obviously it's going to be like $50 or something. It's going to be really expensive. So there you are. Is that worth? Do you want to spend $50? I don't know. Also worth mentioning, we do have a 10x event on right now. We've got Taras the Fierce on today, and then we've got Marichka the something. Unstoppable? I don't know. Something on tomorrow, both from Void Shards. We had a 2x Void Shard event last weekend, so you shouldn't need any Void Shards really for the rest of the Fusion. Obviously, we do have a Summon Rush coming for the Fusion this weekend, and we're expecting that to be very tough. Again, in my guide, I recommended having about 8 Sacred Shards worth of points good to go. A lot of you guys left comments, and I think it's actually wiser, is to save up at least 10 Sacred Shards worth of points for the Summon Rush, just to be safe. So you might want to save Void Shards for that. 10x events are pretty rubbish. They're actually okay for Void Shards, though. Rare and Legendary 10x aren't great. The Void ones are okay. And I think Taras is the one I'd be going for. Both him and Marichka are ridiculously good. I think Taras is probably the better of the two for Arena. He's a HP-based nuker that hits really hard. Damage increases for each buff. So he's sort of like Seer 2.0, except mega tanky. And yeah, you can read it through his passives. He's a crazy champion. Marichka is also extremely good. Like, this move is crazy. She's got a huge heal with shield and strengthen. She has a team cleanse. They're both nutty champions, to be honest. So if you're close to your Void Mercy, for someone, if you're in a similar position to me, let's say, where you're saving up Void Shards, rather than saving for a guaranteed void event, which have been pretty hit or miss, you could gamble and go for this. I think it's something like a 25, maybe less, maybe 20% chance now. If you hit a legendary, you'd be the 10x one. So it's not great, but it's not bad either. I'm not fully up to date on the chances. I haven't worked it out, but I mean, you can go in and you can work it out yourself. I've done videos on how to do that before. And then the final thing to look at today, actually, the fun fact for first of all, how did your champion training brackets go? I basically went up to the 10k, and then at that point, I was actually second place. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll grab a bunch of extra points so I can hopefully get the second legendary book. That would be really nice. Another legendary book for like 4k points more is kind of a bargain. I got that, and I was ahead for a few days. And then at the time, this Ragnar guy was up at about 20k points. And then this guy, Herc72, started pushing up. And I said, you know what? It's not worth it. And I let Herc72 push ahead. I said, okay, you know what? He's actually going to try to win this tournament. They're going to battle it out. There's no point in me joining in to battle it out. Either go all the way and win or don't go at all. So I stopped my points entirely. And then literally on the last day, it was these two, Ragnar and Herc, battling it out all through 20k, 25k. He got up to like 30k and he was pushing ahead. On the last day, Nero Virgil, obviously a Devil May Cry fan, out of nowhere, he came in and he just blasted points for the legendary book. He absolutely blasted. And poor old Herc, who had put in all of that work over those few days, got knocked down into third place, walks away after 27k points with nothing but an epic tome. I guess he got some pretty decent relentless pieces. I maybe came out the worst of it. But I just thought that was funny. 34k was the ultimate winner for this tournament. I suppose for the effort invested to get a legendary out of it's not bad. I just didn't really feel like Ultan of the Shell was that good, to be honest. Right, then the final thing to talk about today, we've got all that stuff out of the way. We've got a dragon tournament on right now, which is sort of the only thing on. I finished Fire Knight easily, but obviously if you're still finishing Fire Knight for the fusion, that is what you want to do. In terms of events, we don't have much going on. Actually, this is actually important. I forgot to say this until I saw it right there. The Athel's Path event, if you are going to do this, Dungeon Divers and Artifact Enhancement. So, if you're going to be able to do this or not, depending on how difficult the fusion is for you or if you're going for the fusion or not. The rewards for this are unlikely to be very good, but if you do want to do it, you should save on upgrading artifacts and accessories until tomorrow, right? If you're going to be doing that anyway for CVC points, you might as well get some extra resources out of this. And same thing with the Dungeon Diver stuff. Instead of going super hard on this dragon tournament today, you could do it tomorrow if you want for your CVC points, and then also get some Athel's Path point as well. These heroes paths that they've been doing have been fairly underwhelming. It's kind of good if they're your only starter and you want to actually power them up. Outside of that, not all that good. We'll see when it goes live, but it's just something to note. I will say I am happy. I don't think they did this before. At least I'm happy that they're telling you the times that it's going to be active, and they're telling you in advance what sort of events there's going to be. I think that's pretty nice, especially going into CVC. So it's not like you spend all your silver today for CVC points if you care about that, and then tomorrow you're going, I wish I could have double dipped. At least you know. Right, so we've got that. Now, the actual final thing, Dragon Tournament. We have this Dragon Tournament on right now, which, if you're not going for the fusion, could be a really good thing to do. Just doing Dragon's Lair with Lizardmen only for incredible rewards. So you've got 50 of the big coins in here. The rewards on the right-hand side are actually quite decent, including a Void Shard. If you've not got anything else on, it's actually pretty good. And you could potentially fight for a higher place in this as well. Really, for that relentless gear is what you're looking for. The 5-star relentless gear is decent. Really, it's that 6-star winning it is what you would want. You can see there's quite a few people actually going for it in my tournament bracket right here. But there's only 8 participating out of how many? Out of 100 so far. So not many participating. You might get an easy bracket. And this could be a very easy way to grab these artifacts. So how can we do it? How should we do it? Well, there are, I've got several team suggestions here for you today. So the first one, I think the easiest way to do it is not this team. The easiest way to do this is to solo with Venomage. Now, Venomage can actually solo Dragon stage 24. So that can be really useful. Not only, not only for this tournament, but to have a solo dragon farmer. You can put in food champions with her. Of course, bear in mind, for this tournament right now, they need to be lizard food. They have to be from the Lizardmen faction. So you might be throwing her into solo with no food at all. If I grab the solo master himself, Tyraku, he actually did a whole video on the exact build you will need for Solo Dragon 24. You need obviously regen gear. These are the stats he was running. So high resistance, high speed, and high defensive stats. You can see the masteries, etc., and more tips and stuff you need to know in Tyraku's video. I recommend going and checking that out. I don't have my Venomage built that way because I use her for the spider, Nether Spider. So my Venomage isn't built for this. She's not in regen, so she can't actually do it. So I can't show you, but you can check out Tyraku's video to see. I'd say that is the easiest way to do this tournament. One champ only needed. What I'll show you here instead, stage 20. So this is like a sort of an epic only team. If you, of course, if you have, let me see. Let's jump over here for a second. We go by faction, right? If you finish the Python fusion, you can, of course, use Python. He's going to be amazing. If you finish the Razin fusion, put Razin in. He is going to be amazing. And there's tons of really good legendaries in this faction as well. What we have in this team is a fairly more budget one. We've got really good epics in here, though. So we've got... well, let's just dive into the run and we'll see them in action, right, shall we? Because it will take a couple of minutes at least to do this run. So, just running at 60 FPS here, not unlimited, so it won't be the max speed possible. We've got Venomage. She's going to come in and put out poisons and just do damage. Again, she's not built in a solo build. It's just a more general sort of build. For most players, probably a solo build is going to be pretty good. But yeah, you'll see her in action. We've got... actually at level 60, she's level 60 as well. We've got quite a few 60s in here. We have Aox the Rememberer, great champion. He is in to heal us and to put out decrease attacks, so just to keep everybody alive. Great epic as well. We've got Jareg. Jareg is an epic that nearly everyone will build because he is so good for the Eternal Dragon. Right, when people get hit hard, he's going to put a continuous heal on them. And he's also going to put out increased defense on everybody and ally protection on everyone except himself, of course, as well. So he really helps keep your team alive. He brings a HP aura, decreased attack A1. He's a fantastic champion, so a great epic for this. We've got Broadmaw, only at level 50. He's in to revive. You can build him in regen. I don't have mine in regen, and he's going to be just fine, even at level 50. He's not going to die, but you build him tanky and quick. And he sort of speed boosts your team and revives if anyone dies. And then we have, I think it's Basilisk over here, who's Force Affinity, and he's going to bring us AoE damage so we get through the waves a bit quicker. This one is actually going very smoothly. We're not really getting attacked. But between the protection of Jareg, between the decreased attack of Aox, should really get through no problem. And Aox and Broadmaw will keep everyone alive in Jareg, and it shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, this is a sort of epic-only style team, obviously with very good epics. You could do this on lower stages if you wanted to, like you could do stage 16 is pretty easy. As well, it's Void Affinity, so that's pretty good. Stage 20 should be fairly doable, depending on what you've got. Like, especially if you've got Python, this should be pretty easy. With a Python, you're just going to need some AoE poison damage, really, and you should be good to go. But yeah, there you go. So even if we took any one of these champions out, it would still work just fine. Probably even two of them. We could probably do it with less. That's okay. But yeah, I think this is an idea for a relatively accessible team. I'll show you some other options as well for the champions when we go back. But yeah, some ideas here. Of course, everyone gets Broadmaw. And he sort of gives you that revive. Even if you don't have the Python, you've got the revive. So you're halfway there already. One downside... decreased defense is something that's very lacking with lizards, so it's going to make it a slow run unless you have one of the legendaries that can provide decreased defense. I think that's Krisk in a way brings decreased defense. Good luck. Vergumcar now does decreased defense. He got buffed, which is cool. And we also have, I can't remember if Who's the red affinity nuker? I think he does maybe do decreased defense. I'm not sure. The one that's used for some Demitha teams. And of course, Dracomorph does as well. So you've got a few options, but they're all legendary. So it does mean that, an epic only run or throwing in some rares, etc. for lower levels of dragon without the legendaries is going to be a bit slower just by the nature of the beast. So yeah, about 3 minutes 20. We're getting through here. I think the important thing to see with this team is that we barely got attacked. So all of this survivability, you can see the damage we took is super low. So a lot of the survivability from being level 60, from having these defensive champions was overkill. So you could totally do it with less. Basilisk doing the most damage, and then Venomage coming in as well. Let me show you the stats here on these champions, and then I'll show you the team that I'm probably going to run myself for this, which is for 25 with legendaries and stuff. I was trying to figure out what would be the fastest. I'll show you. So anyway, Jarek, he's built like this, so high accuracy and lots of HP. He's coming in, again, mostly for Eternal Dragon. Venomage, high accuracy and speed. That's for farming Nether Spider. Well, not farming, we're just doing Nether Spider quickly on full auto. Basilisk, he's fantastic. And you can see he did the top damage there. 206 speed, he's got 141 crit damage and 4,000 attack, right? But he's in a stun set, which is great. He just keeps spamming this A1, and he just does good damage, right? So he doesn't need crazy stats or crazy gear. And he's killing it. He's fantastic. Broadmaw is built tanky with speed. And Aox is really slow. I actually built him with crazy amounts of accuracy for Iron Twins. I don't even use him, so I need to re-gear him at some point. But you could build him faster if you want. But as you saw, for the purposes of this, it's really all very overkill. You don't need anywhere near that much. Let me show you my actual team. We'll talk about some other options. So this is what I'm thinking of actually using. So let's dive in. Problem with this is we're using a Dracomorph. Now, he can do decreased defense and weaken AoE regardless of affinity, but all of his attacks won't work, which is slightly awkward. But we've got Razin in there, who's going to do some turn meter, which is kind of nice, and he is going to do lots of damage to the boss, and he's going to be doing some good AoE damage and decreasing the turn meter of the waves as well. We've got Basilisk coming in. Again, Force Affinity is great for stage 25. You could do, of course, stage 24 too. That would totally work as well. Yeah, Basilisk comes in and he's just going to bring in the stuns. He's going to bring in that consistent AoE damage. And yeah, that's kind of it. And then I'm going to bring in Krisk. Krisk is going to be provoking the waves to really just lock down any of the bad stuff that they could do and keep us alive against the boss as well, the ally protection. But that's basically it. So you can see sort of how the team works. It's not super quick, to be honest. You could do this way faster with better Lizardmen. The thing I really lack is a really strong AoE nuker for these waves. We've got Basilisk, who's great, but he's not on the level, of course, of actual AoE nukers built for damage, which does slow it down a bit, but we're still going to get through reasonably quickly. So we'll come in here. Hopefully, Dracomorph will do AoE decrease defense and weaken at some point. If he doesn't do it this round, oh, there it is. Okay. His AI might need a bit of a setup. We might need to tell him to just open with it. He's usually pretty smart, the Dracomorph AI. Like, he won't do his decreased defense and weaken if they already have it. But yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, we're getting through this wave. You see that Basilisk damage. It really does add up, you know? He brings his own increased attack, the small version too. Again, just defensively, that's why I'm running 4 champions. Defensively, we're not in any danger, right? We're not in any danger. We don't really care. And yeah, here we go. We're getting to the boss in a second. Part of our speed against the boss, we're going to need some luck. We're going to need Dracomorph to land the poisons and not weak hit. So we'll see how lucky we are. The Razin goes in. When Razin gets Giant Killer procs, it will do a lot more damage. Here we go. Hopefully we get something. We're not cooperating. There we go. The decreased defense and weaken. That's going to help somewhat. We get a nice hit from Basilisk. Again, nice hit from Razin. The poisons go on. We've got 4. We actually got all 4. That's actually super good. That's going to speed us up a lot. And even the Brimstone from the Legendary. So that's cool. The poison ticks, the Brimstone proc. And the boss actually dies really fast. You can see Razin damage with Giant Slayer. Really does a lot. Dracomorph has died, but it's not really a big deal. At least you got the poisons out first. So that's good enough for us. Razin heals himself up, and he should be just fine. He gets hit, but it's all good. So, yeah, again, this run, it's going to come in pretty similar time, honestly, to the epics on stage 24. We're just gonna get better gear out of it on stage 25. Um, you could do this slower with a Python in there, and it's gonna be like no problem at all. So it's slightly faster, about 3 minutes. Not amazing speed. Honestly, it's fairly slow, but it gets the job done. Again, you can see Basilisk doing the top damage. Good man, Basilisk. He's an absolute beast. What a great epic. Even in not amazing gear, he's doing the job. Even Krisk with the Brimstone doing pretty good damage. And there you go. Those are my teams. Let me know what you are going to use yourself. Again, I would say for this faction, Fushan is the one I think would be ideal. And he's got AoE stun. Yeah, he does have, okay, 4 hits at random decreased defense. But Fushan would be amazing as this AoE nuker. Got a speed aura too, which is great. So he's going to be fantastic. Roxam could be pretty good for blue affinity stages. Obviously, Draco's amazing. Like, the legendaries are insane. Vergum Car now has the AoE decreased defense. He'd actually be quite decent. Shigor's really good for this too. Really good. So lots of good options. Your options in epics and rares are pretty slim pickings. Like, the rares are all terrible. Muckstalker is great, obviously, for Sand Devil, but not really good here. I didn't even bother bringing him in. The uncommons and etc. are pretty pants. The epics are limited. It just depends what you've got. But there you are. Look, that's sort of what I think. I think Basilisk is sort of an MVP. Venom Mage is an MVP, and then straightforward enough filling in with other stuff. But guys, there you go. Lots of news here today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching. Have a good Valentine's Day as well. Hey, there you go. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.